Surrounded by Idiots by Thomas Erikson, summarized by Detailed Book Summaries. Click on the subscribe button. Let us know in the comment the book you would love us to summarize for you. Chapter 1. Understanding the Four Colors, a New Lens for Human Behavior. In Surrounded by Idiots, Thomas Erikson begins by presenting a simple yet transformative idea. People are not inherently difficult, but they often behave differently because of natural personality patterns. According to him, most misunderstandings arise not from malice or incompetence, but from mismatched communication styles. To solve this, Erikson introduces the DISC model, translated into four memorable colors: red, yellow, green, and blue. This color framework sets the foundation for understanding why some conversations flow easily, while others clash like opposing storm fronts. Red personalities are the natural-born drivers, forceful, decisive, competitive, and energetic. They want results quickly, and they often use direct speech and strong body language. To a red, the world is a battlefield of goals to conquer and obstacles to smash through. Yet others may see them as bossy, impatient, or insensitive. Yellow personalities provide a stark contrast. They are enthusiastic, creative, and charismatic, people who light up rooms and bring ideas to life. They communicate with passion, tell long stories, and often focus more on possibilities than the practicalities of getting things done. To others, they may appear chaotic or unrealistic, but their strength lies in inspiration and social harmony. Then come the green personalities, the stabilizers of the world. They are calm, patient, loyal, and conflict-averse. Greens prioritize comfort, predictability, and support. They are reliable team members who value relationships and prefer slow, methodical change. Others may mistake them for passive or indecisive, but their power lies in consistency and their ability to anchor others emotionally. Finally, the blue personalities stand at the analytical end of the spectrum. Logical, detail-oriented, and perfectionistic, they thrive in precision and structure. They research before acting and measure before deciding. But while their depth is admirable, others may view them as overly critical, rigid, or unapproachable. Erikson emphasizes that these behaviors are not flaws, but communication styles shaped by temperament. Problems arise because each personality assumes that others think the same way they do. A red might interpret a green's hesitation as incompetence. A blue might see a yellow's enthusiasm as irresponsibility. A yellow might think a blue is intentionally cold, and a green might feel bulldozed by a red's blunt approach. In truth, no one is wrong. They are simply wired differently. This first chapter urges readers to shift from judgment to curiosity. Instead of labeling someone difficult, Erikson encourages understanding their color code to better interpret the motivations beneath their words and actions. He stresses that most people are blends of several colors, though one usually dominates. The moment you recognize this, relationships begin transforming. Communication becomes clearer. Expectations become realistic. And instead of assuming others are idiots, you start seeing patterns that help you anticipate reactions, avoid conflict, and build meaningful connections. Erikson's introduction serves as a wake-up call. If you want to thrive in communication and leadership, you must understand people on their own terms, not yours. In this shift lies the power of the four-color system. With this model, you can decode behavior, adapt your style, and speak in a way others naturally receive. The rest of the book builds on this foundation, showing how understanding the four colors can reshape conversations, workplace dynamics, and even personal relationships, turning confusion into clarity and frustration into cooperation. Chapter 2. The reds and yellows, the extroverted forces that shape momentum. In the second major movement of the book, Erikson dives deeper into the extroverted color categories, red and yellow personalities, both of which operate with outward energy and assertiveness, but express it in drastically different ways. Understanding these two types is crucial because they often take the spotlight in groups, drive conversations, and set the pace of environments. Their strengths and weaknesses tend to affect teams most visibly, for better or worse. As Erikson describes, are the embodiment of action over contemplation. If a situation demands urgency, a red steps forward without hesitation. They believe that slow decisions cost opportunities, and they carry a mindset built on efficiency and results. Whether in business or daily life, reds are unapologetically bold. They value honesty, even if blunt, and their tone can easily steamroll the sensitive. Yet, beneath their hard exterior often lies a deep desire for progress and achievement. They simply express emotions and priorities in a language of speed, challenge, and control. Reds say exactly what they think, rarely decorate their statements, and often expect others to adapt quickly. Yellows, meanwhile, operate like the spark plugs of human interaction. They thrive in social environments and radiate positivity. To a yellow, conversations are opportunities to connect, inspire, and brainstorm. They see potential in people and ideas, and often act as morale boosters in teams. However, their Achilles heel is follow-through. A yellow may pitch greatness with confidence, but struggle to complete tasks with the same enthusiasm. Their energy can be seen as scattered or unfocused, and they often overpromise unintentionally because they truly believe in the magic of possibilities. If a red is about execution, a yellow is about imagination. Although both personality types are outgoing, their motivations differ significantly. Reds seek victory, yellows seek connection. Reds communicate in bullet points, yellows communicate in stories. Reds want solutions now, yellows want everyone excited about the journey. This difference can create dynamic synergy or explosive friction. For example, a red may interpret a yellow's cheerful storytelling as wasting time. A yellow may feel dismissed when a red cuts them off mid-sentence to get to the point. Both become frustrated not because the other is wrong, but because they're operating from entirely different rhythms. Erikson provides insight into how to communicate with each type effectively. Communicate directly and confidently. Don't linger on emotional fluff or unnecessary context. Present clear goals, timelines, and outcomes. They respect those who can stand their ground and match their speed. Conversely, when dealing with yellows, bring warmth, enthusiasm, and openness. They respond to encouragement, big picture thinking, and ideas that feel free and creative. Criticism must be handled delicately, framed in positivity rather than blunt correction. The chapter also explores how reds and yellows handle conflict. Reds confront it head-on, sometimes escalating unintentionally through intensity. Yellows, though outspoken, tend to diffuse tension through humor or optimism, sometimes avoiding deeper issues. When paired effectively, their energy can ignite progress. Reds provide direction, and yellows bring unity and optimism. When misaligned, reds steamroll and yellows feel undervalued. Erikson's analysis makes it clear. Extroverted personalities shape momentum in our environments. They amplify voices, set tones, and spark actions. Understanding their strengths and blind spots allows others to channel their energy constructively rather than be overwhelmed or dismissed by it. Through this chapter, readers begin recognizing the extroverted patterns in colleagues, friends, and even themselves, unlocking better ways to cooperate with the fiery drive of reds and the creative joy of yellows. Chapter 3. The greens and blues, the introverted anchors of stability and logic. Having explored the energetic extroverts, Erikson shifts focus to the quieter, yet equally essential personalities, greens and blues. These introverted types bring depth and stability to human interaction, though their contributions are often overlooked because they do not naturally fight for attention. Where extroverts drive momentum, introverts preserve structure, balance, and critical thinking. The green personality, Erikson argues, is the most common in society. Greens value peace, predictability, and supportive relationships. They listen more than they speak, observe before they act, and prioritize the feelings of others. Their calm nature makes them excellent teammates, empathetic friends, and reliable partners. They avoid imposing their opinions unless necessary, making them some of the least confrontational individuals in any setting. Yet this strength comes with challenges. Their desire for harmony can cause indecision, passive-aggressive avoidance, or difficulty setting boundaries. Greens may say yes, even when they mean no, simply to avoid conflict. Communication with greens requires patience and reassurance. They respond best to gentle encouragement, clear instructions, and environments where they feel safe to express themselves. Loud or aggressive communication can shut them down emotionally, even if unintentional. They appreciate consistency and sincerity, and when trust is built, greens show remarkable loyalty and commitment. On the other end of introversion lie the blue personalities, the specialists of analysis and accuracy. Blues observe the world like scientists, examining details, measuring outcomes, and questioning assumptions. They excel in tasks requiring precision, structure, and thorough research. Unlike reds, who prefer rapid decisions, blues deliberate deeply before taking action. They ask clarifying questions, not to challenge authority, but to eliminate ambiguity. Although their critical thinking is invaluable, others may perceive blues as nitpicky, pessimistic, or overly skeptical. To communicate effectively with blues, Erikson emphasizes clarity, data, and preparedness. Avoid emotional dramatics or vague statements. Present facts and evidence instead. Blues value logic and well-structured arguments, and they appreciate when conversations stay focused. They dislike being rushed and may withdraw if pressured into decisions without sufficient information. Though introverted, greens and blues differ significantly in motivation. Greens are relational stabilizers. Blues are intellectual perfectionists. Greens worry about upsetting people. Blues worry about errors. Greens prioritize comfort. Blues prioritize correctness. When working together, greens bring emotional grounding, while blues bring analytical rigor. In conflict, greens avoid confrontation altogether, whereas blues approach disagreements scientifically, emotionless but methodical. Erikson illustrates that many conflicts arise from misunderstanding the introverted mindset. Extroverts may view greens as slow or disengaged, not realizing they are processing quietly. Yellows may think blues are cold, not recognizing their focus on logic over emotion. Reds may misinterpret both types as obstacles to speed. Yet, without introverts, workplaces and relationships lose depth, caution, and long-term stability. This chapter encourages readers to appreciate the silent strengths of the introverted profiles. Their contributions often prevent impulsive decisions, stabilize chaotic teams, and ensure important details are not overlooked. Understanding how to bring out the best in greens and blues fosters environments where introverts feel valued rather than overshadowed. Ultimately, Erikson argues that these personalities are the pillars of thoughtful communication. They ground conversations in empathy and clarity, balancing the intensity of extroverted types. Chapter 4: Why We Misunderstand Each Other, the Psychology Behind Conflict. In this chapter, Erikson explores the heart of human misunderstanding. He argues that communication breaks down not because people are incapable, but because we all assume that others perceive the world exactly as we do. This assumption leads to misplaced expectations, misinterpreted intentions, and emotional friction that feels personal, even when it's simply a clash of behavioral languages. One major source of conflict comes from differences in speed. Reds operate fast, yellows move unpredictably, greens take their time, and blues meticulously examine every detail. When these rhythms collide, frustration builds. A red may view a blue as unnecessarily slow. A blue may see a yellow as reckless. A green may feel overwhelmed by a red's urgency. Each personality becomes irritated, believing the other is intentionally being difficult, when in reality, they're just functioning naturally. Another major friction point is focus. Reds focus on goals, yellows on people, greens on emotions, and blues on facts. These priorities shape how each person interprets information. For instance, a yellow might approach a conversation to bond, while a blue expects structured reasoning. This mismatch leads both parties to feel unheard. Similarly, reds may dismiss a green's cautious concerns, perceiving them as unhelpful negativity, when the green is simply evaluating risks. Erikson also describes how emotional expression varies dramatically across colors. Yellows express feelings openly and enthusiastically. Greens internalize emotions, revealing only what feels safe. Reds show irritation quickly, but hide vulnerability. Blues often appear emotionless, though internally they may feel deeply. When a blue stays calm during an emotional moment, a yellow might feel abandoned. When a red reacts sharply, a green may feel attacked. These reactions often stem from misunderstanding emotional languages rather than actual disrespect. A key idea in this chapter is the concept of intent versus impact. A red may intend to provide fast feedback to help, but the impact feels harsh. A yellow may intend to encourage through optimism, but the impact on a blue feels unrealistic. A green may intend to maintain peace by avoiding an issue, but the impact on a red feels like obstruction. A blue may intend to ensure accuracy by asking questions, but the impact feels like criticism. Erikson argues that conflict sharply decreases when we stop assuming malice and start recognizing patterns. Once we see that communication styles stem from personality, not personal attacks, frustration dissolves into clarity. We begin observing conversations through a more objective lens. Instead of thinking, "Why are they doing this to me?" we start thinking, "This behavior matches their color pattern. How can I adapt?" The chapter emphasizes adaptation as a powerful communication tool. This doesn't mean changing who you are, but shifting your approach to reduce friction. Speak faster and more directly with a red. Use stories and enthusiasm with a yellow. Offer patience and reassurance to a green. Present facts and structure to a blue. Adaptation prevents conflict because it respects the other person's natural style. Erikson closes this chapter by highlighting the biggest communication mistake of all, the belief that flexibility is a weakness. In truth, adaptability is emotional intelligence in action. Those who can adjust their communication style build stronger relationships, make better leaders, and resolve conflicts quickly. Understanding the roots of misunderstanding allows us to move from irritation to empathy and from conflict to cooperation. Chapter 5: Mastering Communication: How to Adapt, Influence, and Build Stronger Relationships. The final chapter of Erikson's interpretation centers on mastery, using the color system to elevate communication in everyday life. By now, the reader understands that the true power of the four-color model lies not in labeling people, but in adapting communication to meet others where they are. Master communicators don't speak one language, they speak four. Erikson explains that the most influential people are those who can adjust their approach on demand. With reds, the strategy is brevity and courage. Speak clearly, confidently and with focus. Show you value results. Don't drown them in emotional exploration or needless detail. They respect strength and purpose, so demonstrate both. With yellows, connection is the key. Bring energy, warmth, and open-mindedness. Show appreciation for their ideas and acknowledge their enthusiasm. Criticism should be gentle and wrapped in encouragement, or they may disengage emotionally. Yellows thrive on inspiration, so communicate through possibilities rather than limitations. For greens, the priority is safety and steadiness. Use a calm tone. Give them time to process. Avoid pressuring them or forcing quick decisions. Show genuine interest in their feelings and reassure them when change is inevitable. When greens feel respected, they become incredibly loyal and cooperative. With blues, precision builds trust. Communicate with facts, clear reasoning, and organized structure. Avoid exaggeration or emotional manipulation. Do your homework before presenting information and be ready for questions. Blues rely on accuracy, so speaking with logic earns their respect. Erikson suggests that once you learn these languages, communication becomes noticeably smoother. Meetings run better. Conflicts dissolve faster. Negotiations become collaborative rather than combative. Relationships strengthen because people feel seen, understood, and valued. The chapter also addresses personal growth. The color model helps us identify our own blind spots. A red may need to slow down and listen. A yellow may need to build discipline and follow through. A green may need to assert boundaries. A blue may need to loosen perfectionism. Self-awareness is the first step to improved communication. At the book's emotional core is this truth. We all want to be understood, yet we rarely invest time in understanding others. When we assume others are idiots, we close the door to growth. But when we approach people with curiosity, we unlock better conversations, deeper connections, and more harmonious environments. Erikson concludes with a simple but powerful message. Communication is not about speaking, it is about being received. And the best communicators are those who adapt, empathize, and respond with intention rather than impulse. In mastering the four-color model, we gain a map for navigating human behavior, not to control people, but to collaborate more effectively with them. The world becomes less frustrating and more cooperative, not because others change, but because we finally understand how to reach them. Let us know in the comment the book you would love us to summarize for you.